fully understand that. I am live. Oh, they added some new, like, okay. Automatically adjust the mic volume. Automatically adjust the mic volume. Automatically adjust the mic volume. That is not. That doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. All right, how's this? All right, if I turn the volume up to this, does this help? I'm gonna try to, let me see. Comment. Let's see. They added some more controls. They want soft music in the background. Let me see. Acoustic music. It's almost RuneScape level. Lo-fi. Night driving. Nah, that'll put me to sleep. I don't like that. Daydreaming? I'm gonna find my own, like, streaming music. This is, like, too dance pop. Not my favorite. It'll have to do. All right, what's up, people? Highly Tio, what's up? Jupiter Robotics. I'm doing good. I'm doing good this evening. I'm doing good. All right, stream. Do I keep learning about Monsanto or watch you? I would hope you watch me. I would hope you watch me. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna see. I've been wondering about something today. Because what I have planned for today's stream is something that we had a meeting about. And honestly, I am concerned about if my idea was stolen. We had a meeting basically, and we were like, oh, you know, part of like the team meeting was like, all right, we're gonna design our own filament. It's like we put it up in like a spreadsheet, and we're like, all right, the job of a product manager is to like balance all these things for a new product. Tell us the product you would make. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna use that for stream. And then Sean immediately was like, no, we're gonna do that. Oh, turn the music down a bit on your end. Hang on, let me see. Sorry guys, I definitely just threw it on. Hang on. I don't know why it's automatically set to 50. I like to, if I do have it on, I usually set it to like 30 max. Let me know if it's good now. Is this acceptable levels of music? Acceptable levels of music? Tell me now. Yes or no? Let's see. I'd love a red, black silk with glitter. Well, guess what? We're going to be able to do that today. Well, not design the specific things, but we can put that down. We can put that down. And you know what? Next week, if I have the time, maybe I'll design like a product page and like see what your filament would look like. That'd be cool. What's up, Brad? How you doing? Yeah, but for this stream, I was like, that's going to be really fun. I'm going to do that with the community. I'm going to see what sort of filament they would build. But before we do that, we're gonna have like, you know, oh, we're already almost there. So I'm gonna go almost like, I'm gonna do 7:10. Get to 7:10, then we'll go ahead and like start like the actual stream. But let's do a little bit of story time. Let's do a little bit of story time. So you guys may have noticed that I didn't stream last week. Well, that was for a very particular reason. I'm gonna try to pull up the proof. Because when I do miss stream, it's for an actual reason. Here we go. I had that being done in my kitchen. As you know, I inherited this place from like my grandfather, and there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done here. And one of the things that had to be done is I had to get the pipes like replaced for like the gas line to the range. Which is like, for anyone who doesn't know what a range is, it's a cooktop with an oven. So it's like an oven with a cooktop on top that you can like cook on. When I bought a new one, basically they came out and told me, they were like, oh, we can't touch that. It's too old. It's like, it looks corroded. We use Home Depot. We're not gonna go ahead and risk it because we don't want to risk a gas leak in your house. I was like, okay. So we got a plumber out here to fix it, and basically they were like, don't worry, we'll be out there by 2 and we should be done like really fast. They got here at 4. As you know, I try to stream at 7. They got here at 4. They were here for an hour and a half, and although they did do good work, they cut like in the middle of it. So they were here for like an hour and a half, then they cut. So this is like 5:30. And they're like, we got to go to Home Depot to get your like new pipe fitting. Because the house is old, it is a different diameter of pipe than what we are used to. They go to Home Depot. They don't anticipate the traffic going there and coming back in 5:30 traffic on 610 in Houston. That's a whole issue in itself. It's a whole issue in itself. So I end up like messaging Joel, and I'm like, Joel, I swear I'm not making this up. Like the guy, like the plumber people are still here. It's like I can't stream with like people walking in and out of my kitchen back there in the background. I have to keep an eye on the repair. And it's like, I'm not gonna be able to stream that. So they end up like finishing at like 7:45, and they end up like going, and like the dude leaves his wallet here. I have to call him back the next day. It was an entire thing. But yeah, that's why I was not streaming last week, because I had 2 plumbers. I had 2 plumbers in my kitchen, like trying to fix like my pipes. So yeah, not the best setup, not the way I would have chosen to spend my evening. But I got a new gas range. It cost me a lot of money, and then Home Depot messed up the delivery so bad I ended up yelling at them for many hours and getting $400 off. So I'm gonna call it even on that one. So yeah. Jesus. Yeah, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, traffic are their own creatures. 100%. And like, mind you, Home Depot without traffic from my current location is, I'm gonna overestimate, 12 minutes. You can get there in like 8 minutes, like without traffic. Ew, gas, all electric here with solar and batteries. Here's the thing, I like, first of all, ew, gas. Listen, I like to cook a lot, and I was trained, not professionally, I was trained on like gas ranges. I find maintaining the temperature of like oil for like, let's say like deep frying to be a lot more difficult on gas ranges. A little bit too powerful. Like a flame is just, it's that perfect, like even thing. It's almost tangible. I can tell how much heat I need for certain things. I love gas. Cooking on gas is like perfect for me. And plus when the power goes out, I can still cook. I just need a candle or something. That's my biggest thing. Like when I lived in an apartment and like the power went out, and which in Houston happened right in the middle of the dang winter, not great. Couldn't cook. I had to like, I had to run to my parents' house, hat in hand, and be like, please, can I cook my dinner here? Yeah, that was not fun. It's like I will never go back to like electric stovetops ever. They're just not fun. Yeah. See, Brad agrees with me. I love my gas range. Gas is superior. You can control the temps like so much easier. And this one's like really powerful. It's like a 18,000 BTU. So like if I put like a lid on like a pot of like boiling water, it can boil. And I think like around less than 5 minutes, or at least I haven't timed it, but that's what it feels like. I've been like washing dishes, haven't been there long. I turn around and it's like, it's already starting to simmer. And once it starts to simmer with the lid on, it's like maybe another minute or 2 before it starts like a roiling boil. Any longer than that, it's a super aggressive boil. And it's a whole thing. I love it. I love my gas range. Yeah, that's why we have batteries and we use induction. But then the batteries, well, I guess if they're like hardwired in. Yeah, batteries are just like a whole nother, like, I guess, like, thing you have to account for. Like, what if the batteries, like, you know, don't keep their charge? Yeah, it's not my thing. Plumbing is the worst. My wife's house is from the 50s, so old pipes. This place is from, hang on a second. I'm trying to, I think this place is from like the late 60s. And then my grandfather bought it like in like the mid 70s. So like, it's weird. The electrical in this house is like half of the house was like redone like in the 80s. And then the other half of the house hasn't been touched. So like the electrical components in here, like before I moved in, I had to move all the GFCI, ground frequency circuit interrupter, ground fault circuit interrupters, whatever it is. I had to put all GFCI plugs on this side of the house because this side of the house was before the 3-prong like setup was set up like in domestic housing. That side is fine. It has 3 outlet plugs everywhere. So one of the projects, I'm gonna have to rewire the place room by room. So I'm looking forward to that massive bill. God. I didn't even finish reading your comment. I'm so sorry. My wife's house is from the 50s, so old pipes. We need to repipe PEX. Yes, it has like a 100-year rating system. I think. Alexa, stop. Got Alexa trying to talk to me from my bedroom. We need to repipe PEX, and also has power issues. Yep. I was 3D printing and my wife turned on a portable heater and the microwave. Power goes out. I still have a cooktop and water heater. Tiny generator runs the furnace and a few lights. I eventually want to get like a nice like Generac generator because I'm a little wimp. Like without AC, I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Without AC, I give up immediately. I'm just like, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem if someone knocked me out until the power like came back on. I hate being without AC. Living in Louisiana, I'll never own another electric Ranger water. Hello. 50 kilowatts, so lasts a couple of days. All right. If it works for you, it works for you. I find myself having just too many issues with batteries and, well, battery technology in general to rely on it for major appliances. I did it out of order. Hang on. I'm an industrial pipe fitter. Plumbing is my jam. Dude, had you known, you should have hooked me up. Yep. Label GFCI if there is no earth ground. Yeah, I had to like, I am not a super like home repair person, so I had to like look up like GFCI. It's like these are like old things. Some of the polarities were reversed, so like certain things didn't work right. Things were like daisy chained together, so like there's a switch on the wall back here that controls the light switch to this outlet over here. And so I kind of just have tape on it until I can get like a professional electrician out here to like make it work. But like I hooked it up wrong. It's a whole story. Yeah, I'm definitely not a tradesman. I'll leave it at that. But I got labeled GFCI plugs, like no fault or like no ground or whatever it is, like whatever the stickers are. I put a bunch of those on there. Yep, 2-prong, no grounds for us. It's very annoying. Bearded Printer, what's up, man? My basement stays steady temp all year, around 65. First of all, I'd love a basement. Basements aren't really a thing here in Houston. We have attics, but our attics stay like 98 degrees. In fact, the ladder in this, the ladder that goes up to the attic here is broken. So I have no physical access up there without getting another ladder to like hop my way into the attic. Like the one that you pull down from the ceiling, that ladder is busted. So, and that's a very expensive ladder apparently. That's like $400 or something. So, and I need a metal one because I'm a bigger guy. So it's got to be even a bigger bill. Get a Kohler standby generator, not a Generac. You know what? I'm gonna star that because I really do hate being without power, and I want to rely on like a good product. Like I don't want to think about it when the power goes out 1 to 2 times a year. I just want to be able to kick my feet back and like still do my thing. I can go without internet. I can't go without AC. In Illinois, Houston is a long service call, but you can do it, man. You can do it. We live in the world of 3D printing. You can make it happen. All right, so let me see. All right, so what I wanted to do, hang on. Weather here is shocking. In winter, it's down to about 6C. In summer, up to 45C. I'm an American. What does 6C mean? Let me look that up. 6 Celsius to Fahrenheit. 42 degrees. It's not that bad. I like that weather. 45 degrees C. 113? Oh my gosh. Oof. Oh my gosh. Could not do that. Oh my gosh. 45 to 42 degrees Fahrenheit to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, those are Houston. Those are Houston like summer temps. I can't do that. 45C is hot. 6C not so cold though. Yeah, I agree. But all right, let me see if I can pull up the game that they like tried to whip out for this this thing at our meeting like last week. I want to say. Let me look at the calendar. That was, I think we had that meeting on the 17th. Let me try to add it. Let me see. Share screen. This should be it. And we're gonna share the tabs audio. Okay, cool. All right, so let me introduce you guys to like, well, what was adequately named the product game. So we were in a meeting, and essentially Nico, Polymaker Nico, was like, hey guys, this is part of like, you know, team building exercise, gets us to understand the brand a bit better, gets us to understand what we're making a bit better, and more importantly, understand the job of a product like designer and like a product manager, which is really cool. I always love learning like what my other like coworkers actually do, because I get to have a lot of fun making fun of myself, saying like, I just make videos, and that gets to just be like the entire sentence. But like being a product manager, you manage a product, but like, what does that mean? Right? Only 2 hours from me, bro. Pull up, unhook outside. I'd rather be hot than cold. I can make shade, drink water. Yep. I'd rather be cold than hot, because I can warm up all I want. And the summer here gets to 100. Oof, no. We spent a few weeks below of every winter. I hate being cold. I love being cold. I throw on like a puffer or something, and I'm cozy. I'm loving that. Make some coffee or something, sit outside. I love it. Like when it's like 20, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, hot coffee or like a warm drink of any kind, like tea, outside, cold weather. Love it. That's the best night's sleep I'll get all year. Yeah, I prefer the cold. I can always add clothing once you start taking off. Authorities get. Yeah, I was gonna make that joke. You can only cool off so much until it's illegal. So risk it for your own thing. I'd rather be cold than hot. Exactly. You can't undress enough to cool down, but you can dress up to be warm. Much prefer the cold. Yep. You might be in the minority here, man. Being hot is not popular. Plus, you can be cold, but once you've been a certain level of hot, you have to shower. Like, it necessitates a cleanup. That's another thing. You can't be hot for extended periods of time. Today was perfect in Chicago, windy, decent, and some good brews on the patio. Cold is awesome. I can't wait to move to the Northland, Colorado. It's called Loveland because people love living on the land. Working outdoors, you pull off the glove to do. Okay, no. I get that. When your fingers are too like cold and numb to do like intricate work or things that require the tips of your fingers, I get that. I've had to do that before. I remember when I was in high school and I was playing football, like lacing my cleats when we were outside, and it was like a super cold like day. Felt like my fingertips were on fire. I get that. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah, so product designers, or product managers. So a part of the thing that happens when you like manage a product, apparently, I'm new at this, is that you have to like basically take a realistic approach. You have to have like a budget. Then you have to say like, okay, I want it to be like this, I want it to be able to print this fast. I want it to be able to have this level of heat resistance. I want it to have this level of layer adhesion. It needs to be able to like print in this like sort of environment without a chamber or something like that. So you have to manage all of these like features and stuff like that to where someone, you guys, the public, would want it. And so that's where this game came in. The goal of the game was to make your own dream filament. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna try to explain it the way Nico explained it. So let's see, we have, you know what, this camera, I'm just gonna have to like go without the screen because it is blocking me. All right, so we have the baseline filament, the heat resistance, 50C, the base printing speed, 50 millimeters per second, base impact resistance, 3 kilojoules per square meter. I think that's how you read that. Young's modulus, which is essentially like, how do I put this? Like a stress curve before like something breaks. So that's measured in megapascals. Layer adhesion, you guys know that. Chamber temperature. And so essentially like you need it to be like, if it's exceptionally high or low or something, you'll need like you'll need a chamber around it to be able to like print at that temp. Let's see. I mean, I can't have filament that's as strong as steel and be as cheap as PLA. No, you cannot. And that was the fun of the game, because I was like, before he got to like the width restrictions part, I was like, no, I 100% just want like, because I already have like my dream filament. My dream filament is HTPLA. I want something that I can throw in the car. I don't have to worry about it deforming. I want to treat it like every other part of my life. I can leave it in the worst condition because I'm irresponsible. Leave it in the worst condition, pull it out, and it still be strong as ever. That's why I like HTPLA. So I already have my dream filament. I was like, now in a perfect world, I'd love it if it would just basically had the fire resistance of like metal, because like I'd love to be able to like 3D print things for like my smoker in the back, so I can like cook meat and like grills and stuff like that. I'd love that. But I don't think they make plastic that survives like thousands of degrees yet, so I don't know. Let's see. I just want ASA and all the colors like PSA or PLA. Let's see. Build a Voron with ASA that looks like chrome. My dream filament is PET CF17. See, that's the other thing. I don't know like any of the things that have like the dash like numbers in them. I have no idea what that stuff is. My dream filament is all the filaments that are neat. You gotta get more specific than that, bearded printer. You gotta get more specific than that. So here's the baseline. We have all those baseline stats, right? That's the standard filament. And so from there, we got to upgrade it, guys. So each one of these is like, you know, different stats. Imagine you're building a character in like your favorite video game, like the player designer. You gotta raise the different levels to get what you want while still maintaining your overall budget of what was set for this one. I don't know if this is actually realistic or not, but this is what Nico said. $130 to produce like this filament, like I guess like per spool or whatever. I don't actually know. But this, we're gonna put in basically the number of dollars we want to dedicate to each of these, and it will represent a change in the core like stats of the filament. And this will represent our ending stats for this filament, but we gotta stay within budget. And there's gonna be extra features we can add on: electrostatic discharge, flame retardation, sandability, paintability, chemical resistance, special finishes like matte or silk. I love it when stuff is matte, so that's something I would put in. But this is gonna be your guys' stuff. You guys are gonna like basically vote on it in the chat. You can have weather resistance. So each one of those special features costs like $10. So like if I put in, what is it, like one that lowers it? Yeah. So if I put in one, it lowers the budget by like $10 because each of them costs $10 each. Okay, let's see. Just clear that out. Let's see. I have some chrome like paint that I can use at T100 bust. My dream filament is yes. It turned out really well. CF17 is 17% chopped carbon fiber. That's really cool. I really haven't gotten a chance to dive into Fiberon yet. Like the team that makes like the videos for like Fiberon, that's a different team. It's like I interact with them fairly frequently, but I'm not on that team. So it's like as a result, I really, and the most I've dealt with like Fiberon stuff is moving the poly dryers from one side of like the office to the other so I can have more like room to film. It's like I've barely even touched the physical filament, even though we have a ton of it in the office. I'd like filament that smells like pizza when it gets warm. At that point, I'm worried about what's in the filament to make it do that. I'm already like weird about filament fumes because like PLA smell, listen, Polymaker's PLA smells really good to me. It almost smells like a candy sort of tea sort of situation. I love it. It smells like sweet. And I'm worried about that. It's like we're getting close to like the hey, don't eat the Tide Pods kind of situation. Don't eat filament. Don't do it. Even though it does smell great. I'm looking for an all-weather filament that has gradients like sedimentary rock, for example. Oh, I like that. That can be used for landscape decor cover-ups for things like sprinkler valves. I can't speak today. Drip irrigation connections, etc. I like that. I might be with you on that one, man. How much to add hoverability to the filament so I can build boards from Back to the Future? We're gonna have to consult Pete on that. When I first started, I always thought PLA smelled like pancakes in my Ender 3. You know what? That is close. It's close to a homemade pancake smell with like a little bit of like syrup in there, but not the highest quality syrup. Tastes like the weird off-brand syrup. It's like it smells like how sugar-free syrup smells. Sickeningly sweet, but like still good. Just turn on the kitchen exhaust. That stuff can't be good to inhale, man. I mean, yeah, I smell it. I don't feel like, listen, there's no good excuse for it. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm far enough away, but it's like, you know, whenever I go check on it, it's like, yeah, I smell the fumes. Listen, I wasn't prepared for that question, but I like the smell of it. I don't feel like I'm exposed to it that often. Like this week, I haven't gotten the chance to print because, in fact, let me see. Because I was an idiot, and let's see. I might have to remove this for a second. I was an idiot and like tried to print like co-PE on a very hot bed plate with like the polymer nano stuff on it, and I can't get it off now. I have to find some sort of solvent or whatever to get it off. And honestly, I've just been too busy with work to actually figure out how to get the co-PE off of here. I was trying to build like I was trying to print a filament, like a sort of like a filament poop stand, like next to my printer, because I've gotten to the point where it's like I hate sweeping up my filament poop now, so I wanted to print a container for it. And I was like, I got the extra spools of co-PE. This is exactly what it's made for. Fast, cheap printing. But yeah, this is. Remember what I said like a few streams ago about not respecting the process of like 3D printing because everything makes it seem so easy? This is what happens. You get something stuck to your build plate. Now you're scared you're gonna break it. And then you're too busy to look up the proper solvent for it. Jeez. My bento box eliminates the odors and fumes in my semi when I print. Not eating Tide Pods is a big government conspiracy like venting eggs. It's not a government conspiracy. Do not consume Tide Pods. My friends tried using some wood-based filament, and the wood pieces would clog the nozzle. So I'm not sure how well rock-based chunky extrusions are going to work without clogging the nozzle. I mean, rocks are nothing but like mineral compounds. So maybe if you just break the minerals down into small enough segments, it should work. Or maybe it can only be done on like 0.06 like millimeter nozzles. That way, it like with the combined effort of breaking down the minerals into small enough pieces, combined with a large enough nozzle, you can print like really rough things like, let's say, ornamental rocks and stuff like that. Maybe that's the key. I don't know. I'm not a material scientist, but it tastes like pancakes too. It does not taste. I don't know. I don't eat it, but I would recommend you not to eat it as well. What math and wizardry are you doing, Greg? We're hacking the system. We're hacking the system to get 50% off filament. That's what we're doing. My ideal filament would be somewhere between CoPE and PLA for prototyping. Okay, see, everyone has like their own like individual thing. Oh, by the way, in case you weren't joking, but we're about to build our dream filament. This is something they introduced in our meeting like last Friday, I want to say. And essentially, you're making a realistic spool of filament for the public to purchase, but you have to keep it within budget. And so we have a baseline filament, and we're going to be spending money in upgrades to make the filament what we want it to have, and then we're going to add on some special features to make it our dream filament. So let's see. Gradient colors that look like sedimentary rocks, not actual rocks. See Overture's gradient sedimentary rock PLA, for example. Oh, okay. Okay, I was thinking wrong too. How about filament that smells like a Jet 2 holiday? If you had to give that like whole meme joke thing a scent, what would it smell like? That's my question. Use a Dremel set to the lowest speed setting with a sanding buffing bit to get the rest off its solvents not doing its job. Okay. That's what I was afraid of, because I don't have a Dremel. I'm gonna have to spend money on that. What does that mean? We can't mix and match different adhesives to make our prints stick to the build plates? I don't know. That's not a question for me. I just completely forgot that was the build plate I had the nanopolymer on. And then I tried printing like an item on it. And I had a project that basically needed to be printed first that automatically took priority. I had to cancel the print. And so I tried to peel it up off of, in fact, here's the other part of it. It's over here on the ground. I'll show you guys. And it kind of just came off. It kind of just came off in pieces. Not great. Not great. Kind of just came off in pieces. So not happy about that. Looks like a reason to get another printer. That is not a reason to get another printer. And another printer is already in the works, meaning that I am planning to save for it. I got some upgrades to do here at the house. I got to put down some tile instead of this green carpet that I have to constantly vacuum to make sure it looks good. So after the tile, then I will be saving up $1,000 to go ahead and get the Snapmaker U1, because I need that extra speed, man. I need that extra speed for multicolor prints. You can print over that with PLA and it might come off, or spray alcohol. I don't want to like ruin the extrusion nozzle for it. Imagine if a filament company had special instructions for printing with material. Pezliz, you get one more, Pezliz. You get one more. When I messed up, my first thought was I'm gonna have to look on the wiki to see like what it takes to like get this stuff off of here. But when I made the mistake, because the nanopolymer is essentially invisible unless you hit it with the right angle of light, I just completely forgot the nanopolymer was on that build plate. Because I have two textured PEI plates. One that I do not put any nanopolymer on because I have the stuff that sticks too well, and then the stuff that I have the nanopolymer on that I really should label. So we all make mistakes. Use a bigger nozzle, 0.8 or 1. Jeez, they make stuff like that? You're only going to be able to use larger nozzles for it. I don't think you're going to be able to get super intricate details out of those filaments. Yeah. Half off a filament. That's not true. That's not, I was joking. That's not actually true. A Jet 2 holiday would smell like it's 50 pounds off per, oh, okay. That's $200 off for a family of 4. I want another printer. Me too, man. Like Joel ordered a Snapmaker U1, and if Joel lived in the same state as me, I would drive to his house without like warning him, just to be like, "Hey, man, came to help you set up the printer." I don't use CoPE on those plates, nano or anything. I know. I wish you had told me sooner, Pezliz. Nope, it's clipped. No, that's not true. Don't post that. Don't post that clip. All right, let's get into the game. All right, so let's start with heat resistance. Tell me what sort of heat. So it's $1 for 1 degree C for my American buddies. That is, hang on, I have a calculator pulled up next to me. That is $1 gives you 1 degree Celsius, which is the equivalent of 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So what are we thinking for heat resistance? We already have a base heat resistance of 50. How much are we going to add into our heat resistance? And so heat resistance is like how much can it handle before it starts to deform? I just ordered a bunch of CoPE. Ah, dude. I love it when I love my CoPE when I have like use of it for that print. Apparently I'm just an idiot and I cannot remember to use the right equipment to print my stuff. But yeah, you guys, tell me how much heat resistance we should have. How much more, or if it's easier to say, what degree do you want to be able to keep your prints in? And I'll just do the math myself. 120C heat resistance. How much money would that be? That's a lot, man. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Do it right. That's $70. That's like half of our stuff. Someone said 100. 186. Oh my god. We're talking in Celsius here, man. 186 boomstick. I'm sorry, Dr. Boomstick. All respect to the medical degree. 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so hang on. All right, being serious, I've seen 100 degrees Celsius. How many people agree with 100 degrees Celsius, or who's thinking a bit higher? $100 Fahrenheit. All that, I'm taking this down to Starbucks and using power for free. I'm seeing 100 degrees Celsius. What is 186 degrees Fahrenheit? What is? I gotta do it backwards now. 186 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 85 degrees C. The math shouldn't be linear. Listen, man, I pretty much just stole this thing from work here. So that's what we got. I'm not good enough in Excel to make changes on the fly. 101 it is. Let's do 100. So we're gonna add $50 here. Okay, so that brings our total heat resistance up to 100 degrees Celsius. Printing speed. How fast do we want this thing to print? We already have a base printing speed of 50 millimeters per second, and we can add $1 to get 10 more millimeters per second. So what's our star printing speed we're aiming for? How fast do you want it? I'll go ahead and do the math and like reverse it. So you want it to be 100 millimeters. Someone said 100 millimeters. 300 millimeters per second. Well, 100 C is 212 Fahrenheit. Is that before, during printing, or after printing? Let's see. No, this is heat resistance. So it's like after it's printed, how much heat can your print withstand before it starts to deform? That's what it means. It's like it was essentially the mindset behind HTPLA. Let's see. 300. All right. Someone said 300 millimeters per second. Someone said 100 millimeters per second. Any other things? I need more votes than 2. 100 and 300. We're not doing 100. What is that? 1 billion? Let's see. It's 1,000 million billion. 1 billion millimeters per second. At that point, it's not even printing it. It's like synthesizing it like a Star Trek thing and throwing it at your face. It's not even. Okay, here's a realistic answer. It's 250 millimeters per second. 600. You know what? Let's see. Now I'm gonna be mean. Let's do 600 millimeters per second. That's 50. We would have to add 550. That'd be 55. That'd be $55 to get it to 600 millimeters per second. We'd have $25. Yeah, we can't do that. That's $25, man. There's $25 left to give it any features. We can't do that. We're gonna have to remove that one. Someone said 250. Let's try 250. Which means we're going for 200, which what? That's 20. Okay, so it's 250 millimeters per second. That leaves us with a budget of 60. Are we okay with 250? Are we going lower? Someone said what? Someone said 300, and someone said 100. I mean, it's high speed, right? I mean, You're not seeing it printing. You don't even know if it's printing if it's that high. 100,000 atometers per. We're not. Come on, guys. I'm not a scientist here. I make videos for a living. I'm the guy who press post on YouTube. Well, since we're not heat misers, little minions, I think we can safely go to about 65C. 65C. It's 100. Does that mean you guys want it lower? It can take up to 100 degrees Celsius right now. Which means it can take up to 212, like boiling temperature of like, what is that, water? Something like that? I don't know. With your math, PLA would be $80 per roll. I'm not good at math, guys. I'm good at pressing record. What could possibly go wrong with 1 billion millimeters per second? That's just both your AMS system, your spool, and your print would all catch on fire simultaneously. That's the problem. My NG can do most filaments on large prints at 250 seconds, regardless of the rating. Enough melt zone, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I think we're pretty, unless anyone has any arguments, for 250 millimeters per second, that leaves us with a remaining budget of 60. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. That's the filament you guys are building. This isn't my filament. We already have my filament. That's HTPLA. I wish it came in metal colors though. I wish HTPLA came in like metallic colors. That would be like my wish. Let's see. All right, what are we gonna do for impact resistance? So I actually had to do some research because I'm not a great scientist either. So like, for anyone who's having a hard time like knowing what impact resistance possibly means, I know you guys are all way smarter than me, but here's my little 10 minutes of like Google lookup. Impact resistance is like, I'm picturing an egg. An egg has very poor impact resistance because the moment you hit it, it shatters. It is like the amount of force it can take before it like ruptures or cracks or like deforms to the point where it breaks. So like something like TPU, which can like squish, has really high impact resistance. So like think about your final like prints. How much impact resistance do you want them to have before they break? Do people want it to turn gooey at room temperature? Maybe. This is y'all stuff. We can make adjustments afterwards. Oh, AMS on fire. I mean, that's the tip of boiling water. If you're in temps that high, you got bigger issues than worrying about printing melting. AMS on fire would dry and preheat the filament. It'd do a lot more than that. It'd do a lot more if it's able to catch AMS on fire. I still think you could have put everything in the price category. Who cares if it's even printable? Who cares if it's even printable is crazy. I think every product manager would be able to like, no, this is impossible. You handed us a list of wishes. Like this isn't feasible at all. What the Black Friday price be? I don't know. I have no idea how like this stuff is like priced. You're asking the wrong dude. 1,000. So what do we, all right, so let's see. Impact resistance is set at 3 kilojoules per meter squared. How much? This is where I struggled with it because I don't understand this well enough to be able to put it to an exact number, but I'm betting you guys would. $5 filament roll should be easily achievable. Listen, if you want that Amazon Basics stuff, I'm pretty sure that, you know what, let me look that up. How much is Amazon Basics filament? Amazon Basics filament, 3D printing filament. See, even Amazon Basics is giving me $16.99. So you're saying you want it to be basically a third of that price. I don't know how you're gonna get that, beauty printer. Nah, you're gonna have to talk. You're gonna have to talk to our pricing department. 69 kilojoules. Okay, that's the first suggestion we've had. So 69 minus 3, that's gonna be 66 kilojoules, and that is for 1. So we're gonna add $66, and yeah, we're already we're already like out of money. We now owe $6, but you know, let's continue building it, and if it makes sense, let's continue building it, and if it makes sense, we'll go back and try to adjust it. Like this may have just been a poor execution from the start, and we were never going to be able to build anything realistically. We don't want AMS on basic stuff. We want AMS on fire. I don't think anyone wants their AMS on fire. I don't think anyone wants AMS on fire. 250 gram rolls. Ooh, let me see. Oh, yeah. Instead of like the 1 kilogram rolls, you get like drastically less. Amazon Basic sell stuff in like lower, like gram stuff? Let me see. Is that what you guys are craving? 250 gram rolls? I mean about an AMS on fire. No. No. We can't do that. No AMS on fire. Let's go. All right, Young's Modulus. So I had to, once again, I had to look this one up too. Young's Modulus is apparently supposed to be a ratio on basically like how much strain something can have on it before it like deforms. So essentially like, which is why the impact resistance and the Young Modulus like are connected. So like having like 66, having like that impact rating of like 66 will reduce the Young's Modulus by like 100. But like Nico wasn't clear if it was like per one, so we're just gonna leave it at like 100. I did buy one off the Facebook Marketplace. It needs some love. Which one? Which AMS did you get? Let's do this one. I can't remember what I put on mine. Let me try to, because I guessed on mine. So let me see. Let me pull up teams. What did I put on mine? It's loading. Give me a second. Okay, so for my impact resistance, I put 30 instead of 66. And for Young's Modulus, because I didn't know what I was doing, I put 20. You guys fine with 20? Or are we going to try to actually figure it out? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't do. I don't know. I'm not a material scientist. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. 3 AMS, 1 for a Bamboo Lab P1P. Maybe they just aren't here now. Who are you trying to tag? Actually, I don't know how it works. I've never actually like messaged anyone on YouTube or Twitch. I've supported Pezliz before, so I've like added her, but like her stream was flowing so fast because she's super popular. I really couldn't observe how it worked. I don't even know if she saw me. So let's go ahead and put 20 for Young's Modulus. Let's make it somewhat resistant to like strain. Layer adhesion. How do you guys feel about layer adhesion in your filament? You think that's like a strong need for you guys? For your layers to, let's look up the official Polymaker wiki, like definition of layer adhesion. Since I don't use the Polymaker wiki enough. Polymaker wiki. Better to learn. The wiki, here we go. Let's look up layer adhesion. Let's see. Having layer adhesion is not only mandatory for watertight parts, but it is needed for clean, strong prints. If your individual layers do not stick well together, you are bound for a part that will break and peel apart. Okay, how well your stuff sticks together to like the layer of filament next to each other. So how much do you guys care about this in a monetary sense? This is measured in megapascals. If you're a nerd like that, I'm not. Let's see. Sorry, I could not type tonight. Don't worry, man. I'm having a hard time tonight, too. All my buddies that were in chat at some point, no big deal. First time catching your stream. What are we up to? We are attempting, first of all, welcome to the stream. This is your first one. I'm honored and delighted to have you. Not sure if this was the best episode to, like, come in on as the first stream. This is the first time I'm like trying like anything like this complicated with the stream, but we're attempting to build the stream's like desired filament. This is essentially a game we came up with last Friday where like we are essentially the role of a product manager. We are trying to build originally the plan was supposed to be a actually like usable plan for a filament. So we had a budget of $130 to develop this filament. We have baseline stats for our base filament here. And here under upgrade, we are basically raising our stats like in a character creator to create the filament we want. We have heat resistance, printing speed, impact resistance, Young's modulus, which is essentially like strain on the material before it starts to deform. Permanent deformation, I'll say that. Chamber temperature, so like, you know, if it's high enough and it can print at room temperature, you know, it won't need like a chamber around it. And then you can give it like a discount. Like if you have extra budget left over, you can make it like a super cheap one. Like the idea behind CoPE. It's a super lightweight, super fast printing filament that's not really good at too much else other than just printing fast. So we were able to give it an extreme discount, which is why CoPE costs so much less. Because it's meant for you to just get stuff out fast. You can see we're already $26 over budget, but at this point, I don't really think that's going to be like, I don't think the whole point of this being usable is going to be like great for the stream. I don't think we're going to achieve that. So at this point, we're kind of just building what we want. But if there's room to go back and try to make this realistic, we can. Hopefully that answered your question. 30 megapascals. All right, so we're at, let me see. That's layer adhesion. We're already at 15, so let's add 15 more. Okay, chamber temperature. All right, at what temperature do we want this to be able to like print? Maybe I said that wrong. At what surrounding temperature can this be printed at? Give me an answer for that. This one I struggled with too, because I always print with just straight up PLA, because most of the stuff I make is like for like marketing purposes. So it's like, it's very aesthetic. So I don't have to mess with stuff like ASA or like PET or like special types of PETG or any of the Fiberon stuff. So it's like, I don't need to worry about like I have an A1. It's like the A1 is not, I think it says on Bamboo's site, the A1 is not designed to be printed in like a chamber. So what are you guys thinking for the chamber temp? So it looks like here, Nico put that $1 represents losing 1 degree Celsius for your chamber temperature. So you put enough money in here, it can be printed basically in lower temperature environments. So room temperature, and then it costs $1 for each under. Let's see, 40 degrees is what? 40 degrees Celsius is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not room temperature. So we're starting with 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 104 degrees. I'm saying this wrong. We're starting with 40 degrees Celsius, which is equivalent to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. We want to go ahead and bring that chamber temperature down as much as possible. That way anyone can print this in essentially any room temperature environment, which for Houston, let's say, is around 70, 75 degrees, anywhere in that. Anything above, oh, well, you don't understand that. Hopefully I just explained it in a way that you can understand. If you don't, let me know. I will try it again. Anything above, you're at 90 C right now. Anything above 40 C chamber temperatures, and you will end up limiting the enclosed printers it will be able to be printed on, so you should go down at least 10. Okay, so you want to put, let's put $10 in here. And so now this can be printed at chamber temperature of 80. Hang on, that's supposed to drop it 1. How's that working? What is that? Nico, what did you do here? Let's see. This is B10. It's 40 minus B19, which is chamber temperature, plus B14. Oh, okay. So, okay. Duh, the note. We'll add 1 degree Celsius in chamber temperature because we wanted it to be like, you know, have good heat resistance up to 100°C. It now has to be printed higher. So that explains why we're at 90°C right now. Yeah. Okay. No, go down 10 was when I thought you were at 50 for the added resistance you needed. All right, so where are we at now? All right, so if you wanted it to be 30, then we're gonna have to go down by, oh my gosh, you want it to be at 30, then that means we're gonna have to like lower it by like what, 60? I don't think we have $60, but here we go. Oh my gosh, we're already $100 over for this filament. I just want you guys. All right, so since apparently the budget doesn't matter anymore, how much of a discount are we gonna give off for this filament? That's funny. Are you using this as a replacement rack in your oven? Why is the heat resistance at 100°C? That's what the community voted on. The community said 100. The community said 100 degrees Celsius, which is the equivalent of, what do they say, 212 degrees Fahrenheit? Yeah. Frankenfilament, very Halloween themed. If you could get the chamber temperature down to 0, that'd be great. We need to print in a freezer environment. Are you planning on taking a research trip to like the South Pole? What are you doing that you need to print? Actually, that's actually a useful. Yeah, I guess it's not so much a joke. That I could see a 3D printer being needed in Alaska for like if you like need a specific tool. Huh. Filament cost 4 easy payments of 100. Yeah, you get that not buy now, pay later. This is why you don't let the community what is best for the community. What was that Blizzard thing that they got in huge trouble for? You think you want it, but you don't. They got in so much trouble for that. I think there is something to be said about, like, you know, if you build stuff like that, you build a game, you build a filament, you build anything, that you have a different side of the story than the people who use it. Because, like, you know, it has to be real. But I don't know, I kind of feel like that's the whole point. If it stays in your car on a hot day, it needs it. That's true. So that's another side of this. We're looking at these at like individual like levels of like, you know, heat resistance, then printing speed, then impact resistance. But like from a marketing perspective, when you look at this stuff, it's like, what is it designed for? And then you can kind of reverse engineer it. We want this to be a high temperature filament that survives like in the car, stuff like that. It's like, then you can go back to like, all right, well, what's the impact resistance needed to be for prints that need to require high temperature stuff? We want people to be able to like suspend their tools of it, with it in the garage. So we want it to have like high impact resistance. But then that affects like, other things and stuff like that. But that's why this game was hard. Like I straight up failed this when we were in the meeting. I trained my penguins to clean my build plates. Let's see. They weren't wrong though. I mean, I think it was less about being wrong. I think it was more about like, hey, maybe you should treat your community, who is known for being very passionate. Maybe that wasn't the smartest way to address the community who is known for being very passionate. Wasn't there a working printer underwater for heat dissipation? That sounds cool. They do that for computers, but it's like mineral oil or something like that, right? Because like computers, no, you could have purified water, and purified water does not conduct electricity. So you could run a computer underwater as long as the water was like purified. I have never boiled water in my car from natural heat. They're making it for leaving it in a hot day when you park your car on the surface of the sun. Okay, so it sounds like we may need to go back and adjust the heat resistance. If we don't want the final temperature to be 100 degrees C, what do we want it to be at? And then I'll do the math and I'll adjust it from there. What temperature do you want this filament to survive when printed? I haven't heard of one, but I never get out, so that's not saying much. Yeah, mineral oil, but it ruins the plastics. Yeah, I got that from Linus Tech Tips, the Canadian sandal-wearing dude himself. 60 to 70 degrees C heat resistance should be solid. On 1 billion degrees, On a typical Australian summer day, the temperature inside a parked car can be as much as 30 Q. You guys measure stuff in different. That doesn't. What is 30 Q? Quid? I thought that was money. As much as 30 Q to 40 degrees hotter than the outside temperature. It's like 130, 150 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. Okay. You meant Celsius. Where are you typing, man? My C is nowhere near my Q. Are you like typing on your phone or something? Okay, you agree with Brad. Hotter than outside? What? Okay, so 60. Let's split the difference. Let's go 65 degrees C. That sound good? Let's go for 65 degrees C, which means we're only going to be adding, what, 15? So 30 plus 40, 70 C inside the car. Okay, that sounds realistic. I think she meant like, it can be 30 or 40 degrees Celsius. Well, I don't know if she meant Celsius because I don't know where you guys are from. But it can be whatever degrees hotter than the outside environment because, a car is full of like plastics and stuff and like usually dark materials that absorb heat. And there's no way for the like the air to like ventilate the place and cool it off. So like, yeah, I get that. If not worse, correct. Dang, everything does want to kill you in Australia. I agree. That's why listen, I do want to try their seafood and eat a kangaroo eventually. But like, I have no desire to go to Australia other than those things. If I can do those things outside of like Perth, outside of Australia or whatever, I will gladly never go to that country, continent, whatever. Remember, Australia wants to kill you. Now you can take that chamber temp from 60 to 15. Hang on, where we go? Chamber temp. Let's see, chamber temperature. Let's back it down to 15 degrees C. We're bringing our budget back, people. We're bringing our budget back. Us Aussies are made of titanium to survive. First of all, I don't know why you guys decided to live on that place. Nothing that has spiders that big should be allowed to exist. I said 65C earlier. I feel like the price is right. Contestant. Yeah, that's the fun of this game. We all had these same conversations in the meeting. It was really fun. I think Sean said he was gonna like steal this idea for his stream, but I was like, Sean, no, it was my idea. Those 1970s nylon car upholsteries that sizzle your thighs like bacon. That's right. You ever like get into a car with like a muscle A shirt on or whatever it's called and like shorts, and then your thigh happens to touch a piece of metal or like some sort of like horrible plastic, and you swear it gave you a tattoo from how much it hurt instantly. Like you swear you have like one of those burn marks that they use to like brand cattle or something. It is terrible. Getting in a hot car is one of the worst experiences. Come to Adelaide in the winter. It's cool and you can eat kangaroo. Where's Adelaide? Before I agree to that. Dad in the house. Long time no see. Huntsman spiders. Not the biggest spiders, but common and nasty. Yeah, they look terrifying and their babies are huge. Originally a prison colony? That sounds about accurate. I have 6 venomous spiders. Why are you telling me this? And they eat the more dangerous bugs like mosquitoes, carrying West Nile virus. Okay, good, but they could do it in a better shape. They could do it in a better shape. I don't appreciate the way that they look. My Google Assistant is going off. Let's see. Okay, now we need to talk about the impact resistance. Let's talk about the impact resistance. It is tied to Young's modulus, and apparently, I'm not sure if this is per thing, 100 MPa, 100 megapascals. What are you guys thinking for the impact? Let's revisit impact resistance. What are we thinking? Tech Jeeper, what's up, man? I see you. I see you. I have a titanium plate reinforcing my tibia. You should be safer when you practice sports. Land lobsters? Is that what you refer to spiders as? No, you're banned from the stream if that's your name for that stuff. Congrats, one of us. Nope. 6 screws, 2 pins, and a plate. What are you guys doing? Take care of your bodies. But yeah, all right. Let's revisit. Someone said they had a problem with the impact resistance. So what's the problem? Is it too high? Is it too low? Because after we like establish this filament, we then need to go back and look at it and be like, all right, what type of filament have we made? Because right now this is just a standard like poly light. It has essentially, like in forms of marketing, it has no special features added to it. It's not like electrostatic discharge. It's not flame retardant, sandable, paintable, chemical resistant. Like we need to make how we would sell this product as well. So that requires us looking at the numbers afterwards and being like, all right, what's the use case for this filament? It has high this versus low this, high this versus low this. Is it just a middle ground filament, but it's just better than the rest? Who knows? Let's see. Messed up bad. Should have left the criminals there. Moved to Australia. 10 screws and a plate here. Take care of your bodies, guys. Yeah, it's stronger than titanium at the moment. What's the impact resistance of ABS? Go 25% higher. You know what? Let me see if I can pull that up on the Polymaker website. Let me look up ABS. What's our baseline ABS? Polylite ABS. Let's see. You know what? This is boring. Just watching me do nothing. Hang on. Let me see. Share screen. Okay. I've never actually had to look up like these individual things before. So what are we looking for here? It's definitely not printer profiles. Is it product info? We're looking up impact resistance. So the one we were working with is impact resistance of our base filament is 3 kilojoules per meter squared. Are we looking for material properties or TDS download, the technical data sheet? Result of a wrestling injury. Yeah, you shouldn't have wrestled people. Let's go to 7 kilojoules, you said. Okay. You should add the hashtag boring. My friend does it for his DJ streams. It's not boring. Making some good jokes here. Let's see. Yeah, I really don't know how to look up that. Base ABS. If you can look it up faster, let me know. Let's see. Impact resistance? I guess that's this. This is like 18 versus 11. I don't know what Sharpie means, but X and Y versus Z. There's no filament in Wikipedia. I have a titanium rod on my femur. Guess how? By bowling. What were you bowling? Who said bowling was a non-contact sport was lying. I haven't laughed this hard since I got sent from that song from the game night crew yesterday. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So all right. So what were we looking for, Brad? I think I was answering your question. Impact resistance along the Z-axis is like 11 versus the impact resistance along the X and Y axis, which is 18. So what are we looking for here? You said go 25% higher. Let's see. Does impact resistance refer to how it resists being impactful? That is not how that reads. Impact resistance means the finished print, how well can it handle impact before it breaks, before it fractures. It's like an egg. How much force can it handle before it completely breaks? If it can handle it really well, like TPU, it has a very high impact resistance. Let's see. My dad said I did bowl a strike, kind of passed out after I hit the ground. Why are you guys talking about bowl? Well, you're the guy who had like the titanium plate from bowling. That's got to be different for shear versus tensile strength impacts. They don't specify the distinction. Nah, I mean, this is Nico. If you want to complain, go to the next stream for Nico and complain. Hey, Greg's stream was confusing because you didn't specify the things. I'll take the heat for it. Go and complain. Let me see. Yeah, so we're going with, all right, so let's just put something down for the impact resistance. We had a problem with it being, with our current upgrade cost being $66 for it. What do we want to reduce it to, or what do we want to up it to? The community apparently wanted to 3D print tank armor plates. What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you guys? Okay, let's do 40 kilojoules. PLA is 39, according to Polymaker's app. Okay, now I'm with you. Why are they talking about polling? I think it's a requirement for this community to have like ADHD. It's a requirement. All right, so the most realistic approach that I read in the chat said 40 kilojoules. I don't know why I keep trying to pronounce it. Let's go ahead and back that down. Let's go ahead and put it at $37. And we have $8 left for this budget. Let me go ahead and switch it back. Up screen. Okay, so we reduced it. We reduced the impact resistance to 37. Combined with the 3 here, we are now up to 40 for the impact resistance. Are we gonna, technically the last one we haven't touched other than the special features, which you don't have to put in different dollar amounts. You just put one in there and it automatically gets added. You don't have more sandability. It's just sandability or nothing. Are we gonna give anyone discounts? Are we gonna go back and touch any of the other stuff first? Chat was talking about our bionic parts we have, not on the level of General Grievous, but on our way to being like him. Listen, if you can hold 4 lightsabers at once, I'm all for it. Holding 4 lightsabers at once is cool enough to put the money into it. Okay, so we have $8 left in the budget. Are we gonna go for a discount on this stuff? We can drop, for every dollar we can drop it by 10 cents, or we can go a little bit over budget. We'll be $2 over budget, and we can add a special feature. What are you guys thinking? Electrostatic discharge, being flame retardant, sandability, paintability, chemical resistance, a special finish like matte or silk, or weather resistance. Okay, someone said flame resistance. Put it all towards special finish. Someone said weather. These are all different. These are all different. Chemical and weather. Chemical and weather. All right. So that's 2 votes for weather. Flame resistance. Weather, chemical, flame resistance. Y'all are just adding stuff on. We're surprisingly close within budget. I should just give you 2 to make it easier. Let's give 2. I've seen weather twice. So let's put weather in there. So that puts us over budget by $2. You should just pocket the $8 and not tell anyone. Yes, we are stealing from the company. I need to print that half track for the apocalypse. Flame resistance can be weather resistance in parts of California. California has weird laws. I'm not even sure what that stuff means over there. Flame resistance can be yeah, because the wildfires. I wonder how that works out legally. Can you claim it as both? Paintable might be useful for those who don't have an AMS paint or printer. Okay, I'm giving you guys one more. So which one is it going to be? A special finish, chemical resistance, paintability, sandability, electrostatic discharge, or flame retardation, or whatever, however you say that. Stealing is such a dirty word. Let's call it reappropriation. No, that sounds too political. Let's call it asset reallocation. Let's call it that. Delightfully corporate. Chemical resistance, all for weather resistance. We got weather resistance in there. I want to give you guys one more. So someone said chemical. Someone said chemical. I see 2 things for chemical. If you are buying this filament, you have the money right now. Well, the price of this filament so far, I'm not sure how it works on the back end in terms of the pricing for this stuff, but it tells you the price of the filament right here. It's supposed to be $25 per kilogram. It's like a standard spool from like Polymaker. This would be 25 so far. And it's apparently, let's see. Yeah, it's affected by the math of the stuff, so it should be going up and down too. So this isn't that expensive. Yeah, it still only costs like $25. There's the category for paint resistant. It doesn't need to be paint resistant. Paintability. Doesn't need to be paint resistant. Oh, I thought it was 130. No. The budget is for you to be able to build it. It's our R&D department, essentially. Research and development. Let's see. Okay, so I've seen chemical resistance. Let's see. Chemical resistant. Someone said chemical resistant, chemical resistant. We already have weather resistant. Okay, so I've seen chemical resistant 3 separate times, so I think we're going for chemical resistant. Okay, we're a bit over budget, and I think it just maxes out at 25 because that should be higher. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at all this. This should be, why is the budget only $130? This was Nico. This is Nico. If you have a problem with it, go speak to Polymaker Nico and be like, hey, Greg's, I was frustrated. Write him a letter. I was frustrated with Greg's stream. I didn't like the budget. It didn't seem realistic. I wanted more. Why not? Why don't you give Greg more of a budget? And, you know, that'll be his thing, though. That'll be his thing to answer. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this is the part I'm gonna need your guys' help with. I want to speak. I need to speak to the manager. I'll write Nico and say, budget, no context, no context. One email, the subject line is, what's the subject line gonna be? Budget issues. One sentence, budget should have been $40. He's like, Greg, what is the meaning of all of these, like, emails? They all say they came from your stream. I'm gonna have to explain all of that. That's funny. Unlimited budget will lead to Polymaker unobtainium. Subject, budget bad, body, should have been $40. Greg said no, I never said that. No, I'm not even gonna say that sentence out loud, Tech Jeeper. You're not gonna get that clip of me. You can get this clip of me saying, you know what? Hang on. You can get that clip, you can get this clip of me saying that, what did you say? Greg never said that we all get free filament, because that's not, I don't control that. Greg doesn't control that. Greg does not control that. You can clip that, people who clip portions of me and I have to watch later very embarrassed. Gonna edit. I know, that's why I did it. It's funny. You know what? You can throw that clip in some AI and see what sort of like funny stuff you can get out of it. We have seen what chat tried to do with $130. Lord help us all if they had an unlimited budget. I mean, if I had an unlimited budget, I already told you guys, I want something that can basically survive lava, because I like barbecuing and stuff like that. I want to 3D parts for my smoker. It's like I want to be able to print like a new like vent hood or something for it, and it's like that's what I'd want. I'd want something that just maxed out like the heat resistance, and you would basically need to have it like forged instead of like printed at any normal at any like normal printing temperature. I spent an hour picking up my $500 of free filament yesterday. Now I kind of want to change it. Okay, where was I? Let's look at these numbers, and we have to like basically come up with like, not a marketing, it's not a ploy, that's not the right word for it. Basically, we have to tell the public, what is this filament for? So with these stats, these final stats, we no longer have to worry about this stuff except for chemical resistant and weather resistant. What is this filament? Prints at a decent speed, decent heat resistance. 65C is what again? 65C is 150 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not too bad. That can survive what? That can survive a car. Somewhat impact resistant. It's like standard PLA. It's not known for its impact resistant. Young's modulus, 800. Actually, not sure how to read that stat, so I don't know. 30 layer adhesion, chamber temperature, 40C. This is a very standard filament, in my opinion. Very standard filament. You guys didn't create like a super out there crazy filament. I'm surprised. This is a very standard filament. I want something that survives sitting near a hot engine block. So yeah, me too. Yeah, I want to be able to print like, well, that's what Fiberon is advertised as. Like you can print like car parts and everything, but not high friction. I want it to be able to survive just like sitting on an engine block, taking all that heat. I want a filament that turns to pure gold when extruded, please, and thank you. Dude, when that gets made, that's not hitting the market. That's coming to Greg's place. I'm printing special coins. That'll be my maker chip. It'll be printed out of like pure gold. 3D print yourself a giant dummy 13 with all your new filament. Let's see. Was thinking of an R2 or even a Dalek. It's for taking up much space in your filament shelf. No tensile strength. I usually try to resist being impactful, so I relate to the impact resistant filament. Over the weekend, I saw a YouTube video of a 3D printed model rocket that broke the sound barrier using carbon fiber when it returned to Earth. The nose cone wasn't even damaged. That's awesome. You should link that. You should link it in the Discord. Is UV covered under weather resistance? He didn't specify, but you know what? I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. So that Greg's making that rule right now. UV is covered under weather resistance. We can just put all $130 in heat resistance. Yes. It'll be the least impact resistant, highest temperature rated filament ever. And that's what you'll have. That would be quite the valuable maker chip. Oh, that's funny. Heat resistant 65C? That's low. Isn't that like glass transition? I am not a material scientist. I don't know. 65C is 150 degrees Fahrenheit, 149 to be exact. That's hotter than anything How hot does the inside of a car get? Let me just triple check that. How hot does the inside of a car get during the summer? Okay, according to Google's AI overview, which can be frequently wrong. Let's see. Often rising over 40 degrees in Fahrenheit, higher than the outside temperature in just 10 minutes. Let's see. Yeah, so it can just be 40 degrees higher. So it doesn't. All right. So to survive the inside of a car, it doesn't need to be HTPLA like levels of like heat resistance. This is fine. The hottest it really gets in Houston, realistically, is like, the real fuel can get like 120 sometimes. But like, in terms of the actual temperature, it usually maxes out at about 100, really. I've seen it go to like 105, very rarely. So, yeah, about 40 degrees over that. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. That's about 150. We're cutting it close. We're cutting it a little bit close there. I'd probably raise it personally about 5 more degrees Celsius, but that's just me. Have you played with Marked Forge 3D metal printers? No, I have not. It's a rubber band. I want to 3D print a new set of exhaust headers. Might cut it for your barbecue vent hood. I don't know. I usually have my smoker at like 250, but like when I do lose control of the fire every so often, that could definitely spike up to like 350. So yeah, then I have weird fumes on my food. I'm good with that. No, but all right. So projects in Dad's garage. Go ahead and give me your read on the filament we created. Like I said, I do not have the strongest comprehension of like what 800 megapascals means, like tangibly. Impact resistance, that's standard. That's standard PLA. So it's like That's typical stuff. It's definitely not known for its impact resistance. 30 megapascals for layer adhesion. Let me see. Let me see if I see anything here. Layer adhesion. No, I don't even see anything here. Oh my gosh. I want to... No, I already read that. I like to use my stuff in the sun or outside during the day, you know? I agree. That's where I would use most of my stuff at. We just spent an episode doing R&D to make TV. Yeah. That'll burn you to touch. 40 to 50 C in Australia, unless you're Australia. Metal you're wearing starts to burn around 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Oof. Don't forget to add that to the search. Basically. That's a temp after it's printed. 65 degrees C, you'll be dead before you use the print. Now if you're strong enough, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Pet G survives cars. I have yet to print with Pet G. We have like none at the office right now. Everything we have at the office is like, it's Panchroma product, so it's like standard PLA, or it is like ABS. There's nothing in between. There's piles of ABS in the office right now. Yeah, but there's air temperature and there's baking in the sun temperature. So those two are different. And if it's sitting on something black that changes another variable, the filament would this filament would warp in the car for sure. It is cutting it close. It's cutting it close. Like in Houston, the hottest we typically get is about 100 degrees. And if it can go 40 degrees higher on average, that means it can go higher. Average means it can go higher or lower. So yeah, it wouldn't guarantee, and most of the year it'd be fine. But yeah, this probably would warp. I'll put it this way. You'd have a lot of refunds going back for like, hey, this filament warps in the car if you ever put on it that it has heat resistance to be sold to be printed for like car ornaments. Do yourself a favor, don't print with Pet G. People love Pet G. It's like it's tougher than like standard PLA. I used the snot out of Pet G. Let's see. That is family calling me. Yeah, so let's try to wrap this up. How would you guys sell this PLA going from these stats? I'm interested to see. Brad Stanton and Project and Dad's Garage, you guys have had like the most interesting takes, I'd say, in terms of like revealing like the weaknesses of this PLA. So I want to hear from everyone, but I'm really interested in your guys' takes. I wouldn't. No, you can't give up on it. This is the community's filament. You can't give up on it. You got to say something. Polymaker standard PLA. It works. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you could not market it with "I wouldn't." That's quitter talk. That's quitter talk, and we don't quit on this stream. We do not quit on this stream. If anyone has any ideas how you would market this filament, you gotta tell me. Because honestly, I'm at a loss. If it's really like that, like squishy, I guess you'd say. I don't know. Let's see. Mark Forged has Amarid or Kevlar filament as well as 17 4pH stainless steel. I really like to say they're both checking out if you need stuff that's going to be hot on fire. I will check that out. I'm going to star that. I could stand to be a little more impact resistant. There isn't anything here to make it worth the price yet, unless you're printing hula girls for the dash. Okay, so what? You think this is heading a little bit more towards HTPLA in terms of its main sellability, which, not even that high, is its heat resistance? Use it as a good excuse to charge more for normal PLA. Yeah, you're being so pessimistic. Come on, this is the community's filament. This is our upgraded filament. If I'm selling the chemical weather resistance, then 65C is too low. Maybe increase it to about 85? 65C, I'm guessing you're saying 65 for the heat resistance. So you're saying you're saying raise the heat resistance. Brad is saying to raise the impact resistance. Well, those are two. Are those? That's another question. Are those two different like marketing ploys? Like, hey, this thing like can take a hit, or this thing is high. This thing is high temperature. Because HTPLA GF, I want to say, is like both. Let's see. Really depends on your global clientele demographic. You know what? I'm gonna give you guys a concession. Let's raise it. Make it peach to make truck kahunas. Let's go ahead and raise it. Someone said to raise 65C. Let's go ahead and raise it by another 20. So what? That would be 35 instead of 15. Okay. So putting some more money, putting about 20 extra bucks, and raising the heat resistance up to 85C. Evening, Zombie Hedgehog. Raising the heat resistance up to 85C. Does that change how you view this product? Could drop the printing speed. Could drop the printing speed. What would you drop it to? 250 is like standard, right? That's like standard PLA, isn't it? What would you even drop it to? Now it's HTPLA. That's not bad. I like HTPLA. You want to drop it to 100 for the printing speed? That's slow. No, now I need a vision. Now I need a vision miner printer for this PLA. I was thinking the filament was more for hobby uses, like printing Labubus. Yeah, those demon-looking thing kids are into nowadays. Yeah, 100. You guys agree that the printing speed should be dropped to? You say, let me get this straight. You want to drop it to 100 millimeters per second in total? Talking to you, Brixie 3D. And does anyone else agree with that? 100? That seems slow to me. Whenever I'm printing, I usually try to just max it to whatever like the spool says, and then just like max. Let me see. 150 is fairly reasonable, says Zombie Hedgehog. You guys are still saying 100. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I'm not sure if I think that. If slow is smooth and smooth is fast, then slow equals fast, and that's not right. That's 10 centimeters a second. It's still fairly fast compared to what we used to print at. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can't cool your high temp PLA fast enough at 250 millimeters per second. I don't care what the spool says. I'll go flat out and see what happens. All right, let's try to drop it to 150 total. Let's see. Printing speed. Where are we even at? I'm not even trying to understand the math right now. Oop. Let's see. Let's go for 100 millimeters per second. Especially because it needs to withstand heat, so it's going to print slower since it needs to be heated hotter to extrude, right? I'm not the material scientist you think I am. I'm a fraud. I'm not that guy. People think I'm that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Polymaker is awesome. I agree. My E3 V2 would print at 50 mil. Oh my! Don't even mention those speeds. All right, so new stats. What do you think? This is starting to look closer towards HTPLA in terms of its use. What speed do people usually print at? So what? Okay. From what I heard, I'm gonna finish your comment. But so what? You think this is for decorative stuff to be used in like high temperature environments? Is that what this is for? Because that's cool. I like that. What speed do people usually print at and still expect to have decent quality finish? 100 is my point. Speaking as someone who is relatively new to 3D printing, I'm looking for around 250 because it's the first number I saw when I started printing. So I kind of base everything around that. Now I'm sure as like, my 3D printing journey gets a little bit farther along, I'm sure my mind will open up to a lot more stuff. But like, to be honest, that's the number I float around. But I'm a noob, but a newbie makes up a good amount of your market. Like if you were trying to determine if this would be successful, there is a sizable market of people who just print and don't bother to learn anything else about 3D printing. They just like being able to press print and make toys for their kids or whatever. So, yeah, that's the stuff you got to face. Oh my gosh. Well, if the nozzle head can heat up to that temperature without struggling, you probably don't need to lower the speed. I can say I'm absolutely entertained, that's for sure. Dude, thank you. That's what we try to do at the stream. That's what we try and frequently fail to do at this stream. I have learned it's okay for me not to think sometimes. Me too. I never think. But to me, it makes sense that you're going to be printing slower for film extrusion at higher temperature. Okay. I do practical prints, but I still want them to look all right. I'm looking at some PLA Plus that says 100 millimeters per second. I'm definitely printing 275 cleanly. You know what you are? You're the guy who uploads it to YouTube and it's trying to print the Benchy so fast that it's like destroying the platform that like the printer is sitting on. And it's like, it's technically printing the Benchy, but like that's not it fails all aspects of printing a Benchy. That's the vibes I'm getting from you, Brad. 250 seems like proof of concept speed, not actual use case speed. That's interesting. You going slow? My first printer and a Net A8 would print at What did I told you earlier. Get those speeds away from me. I click button. I make boat. I not have a speed Benchy. Oh, you might have a speed Benchy. You got to upload in Discord. All right, I think we're good then. This is probably. Do you guys agree with the fact that this is kind of just like a looks good high temperature filament? So what, decorative pieces for like, I don't know, beach decorations? I don't know, stuff to hang in your car. Like what? No, it shakes the printer apart. I'm getting the feeling. Yeah, probably. Those videos are entertaining though. Yeah. Nerf blasters. Yeah, I want the final marketing. I want the final marketing thing for this before we end the stream. Who buys this filament and what is it for? This is your filament for what? If you're thinking of printing blank, this filament is for you. And it's like, you gotta give me that. I mean, wouldn't you want your barbecue hood vent to look nice and smooth as designed? I'm gonna be honest, if it's next to my smoker, it's like the whole thing is made out of like cast aluminum. I don't care. It'd be cool if it looked nice. It'd be cool if it looked nice, but I really don't care about it looking smooth, not just functional. I'd love to give you a better answer, but I actually have no idea what's available on the shelves in the market these days. See, you got to do your research. You got to go back and forth with us. Polymaker, you released this filament, and personally, I think you're wrong because it should be this. That's what I want to hear more of. Perfect filament for the Moab Gatling Nerf blaster. What's up, man? What's up, Diablos? I'm gonna put this as high temperature filament that looks good. That's not the best branding statement, but I think you guys were kind of lost too. Let's go ahead and just put it here. Let me see. High temp. Look good. Not the best. Is that the best we can do? I'm gonna give you guys like another like 2 minutes to decide on something better. Oh, I like that. I like the alliteration. High temperature, high detail. That immediately beats out what I said. High temperature. I can't spell tonight. High temperature, high detail. All right, marketing department, give me some more. HTLG. High temperature looks good. You know what? I could see that in the video. High temperature looks good. HTLG swivels down vertically. High temperature looks good. I can see that. I'm putting that down there too. HTLG. Look good. High detail. we can't have improper stuff on the label because Polymaker is a very professional brand. Print what's hot, not what's not. That's that's so close, but it seems a little confusing. Like I have to think about it a little too much for it to work. Because if it's gonna be on like the front of packaging, people have to get it immediately. It can be clever, but not that clever to the point where you actually have to think about it for a second. And I get it, but I had to think about it for like 2 seconds, and then I get it. Now, am I stupid? I don't know. Can we add some Can we add some tritium to make it glow on the day? No. For Labubus, you can't. You can't just put that on the box. For Labubus, and that's it. You can't burn it. You can't stop it. It won't ever stop until it completes its mission. It's a Terminator filament. That seems like a Sean video, but I don't think you can fit that on the front of the box. Both of those work. HTHD, high temperature, high detail. I like that. High temperature, high detail. All right, guys, you can't give me anything else. Hot and looking. HLH, hot and looking hot. It's not very catchy. That's not very catchy. I'll put it down. HLH. Hot and looking, well, see, I want to say hot and looking good, but like, it's a little too sketchy for Polymaker's type of branding. It needs to be professional. Hot and looking hot. We look gooder than other brands done do. All right, so if I had a filament brand, all of the branding would just be brain rot. But since we got to go through Polymaker to make this filament, we can't do look gooder than other brands done do. But I do say, listen, in my professional opinion, Tech Jeeper, you have my vote. You have my vote. It prints cause it's hot. You ain't cause you not. Is this what happens when I tell people my like dumb jokes? Is it this bad? I think it's this bad. It prints cause it's hot. You ain't cause you not. I'm gonna put that down. That made me cringe and chuckle on the inside. Enough. Oh my gosh, hang on. It prints cause it's hot. It prints cause I cannot spell. Let's see. It prints cause it's hot. And what does it say? You ain't cause you not. Okay. Let's see. Atomic filament. It's not catchy enough, Diablos, but I know you can do better. Can't eat it, so it's good. Listen, this isn't Play-Doh. Fun to play with, not to eat. We can't do that. Maybe high temperature, high precision filament. That's good. That sounds like, oh, good Lord. That's not the word I was trying to spell. It prints because it's hot. Yeah, don't clip that. Let's see. Yeah, high temperature, high precision filament. It's not very exciting, but it's very straightforward, and those actually do perform well when A/B testing. A/B testing is essentially when you're running ads that are very similar to each other, but you're trying to test if specifically one variable in them performs better than the other. Like, let's say you have a female voiceover in one versus a male voiceover in the other. They're exactly the same thing, they're paced exactly the same way, they have the exact same music, but you're trying to see if your audience is more receptive to a female voice or a male voice. And once you establish which one performs better, you double your money, you double your budget into the one that's successful until basically your luck runs out. So the Unspooled podcast, Lair X Lair, he had a custom filament created and named it "You Kiss Your Mother with That Mouth." I would love it if like Polymaker had like a budget for a stream where we all just made like our dream filament, no matter the cost, and we had like one spool made, and the next stream was printing with it. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? We're coming up with ways to like market this. So we need something to put, good Lord. We need something to put on the front of the box, essentially. So we need something catchy. Something catchy. You trying to sell this to Gen Z or millennials, Gen X? There's another question. Like your demographics in question. There's a big age difference. So the people who happen to be most into 3D printing actually tend to be slightly younger, but the people who have the money to spend on this stuff tend to be slightly older. So it's like you gotta balance it. And then of course for certain types of filament will relate more to like different different age groups. So like purely aesthetic filament, like let's say the Starlight series, Celestial, they're versions of like their Panchroma standard PLA stuff, but kids mostly buy that because it looks good with like super decorative pieces, toys, and stuff like that. But the matte version, or matte colors, tend to perform better with like older demographics because, you know, you can make tasteful pieces for your house or something. So you got to keep that in mind. Oh Lord, never mind. I don't want to know. Nah, it's too late. You're in here. You got to participate now. That's going to determine a lot of the direction where the marketing goes. Well, you tell me. Who is going to be buying a filament that prints at high temps and looks good? Who buys that? High temperature and looks good. To me, that says adult. Not necessarily because it will, like, there's something that keys it into adults, but more so there's nothing that keys it into kids. That's where I'm saying. Takes more heat than a pharma bro in congressional hearing. We can't make these in the political cartoons. Brainstorming is supposed to be like throwing as many things at a wall as possible and then seeing what sticks afterwards. Yeah, I agree with that. Let me see. Tube Mini. Atomic filament. It's the bomb. You added it's the bomb to your original thing. Atomic filament. You know what? That's going on here, but I'm telling you right now, Diablos. Not the strongest one. Atomic filament. I'm putting this on here because I appreciate your efforts. It's the bomb. To the sun in style. I like where you're going with that one. I feel you. Might throw down for one soon. Let's see. To the sun in style. Okay, let's take one or two more and then we'll go ahead and end the stream. Therma Extreme. Okay, so Therma Extreme makes me think it's extremely tough, which it isn't. And it has like the X and like the extreme makes me think like it either refers to the toughness being off the charts or its temperature resistance, like its heat resistance being off the charts, which neither of them are. So I feel like that's a little bit of it's not directly like saying like, what was it called? When you say something does something, when you try to sell it and it turns out to be the exact opposite when it's wrong. False advertisement. Jesus, I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, it seems like a little bit of false advertisement. I like the name though. Therma Extreme. In fact, I think that has like the strongest potential out of it, just because it's like, it's one word, it's strong, but I don't think it works for the filament, like, to be true to it. I can't even pronounce it. That automatically loses because I can't pronounce it. Unobtainable. Nope. Next. You lost your chance, Shades. I tried 3 times. Tagline, best dang filament made in tech. That's not true. it's not the best filament. And this filament, I'm not sure if it'd be made in Texas. Polyresist HT. Okay, Polyresist HT. So the resistance is referring to the high temperature. I like this one too. Polyresist HT. Yeah, I like that. I think I try to turn it into like, you know, poly like texture or something, polytext or something, high temperature. And it's like something that refers to both, you know, the high detail you can get out of it and the high temperature. I like that though. That's close. High temp, but at the cost of everything else you care about. Why are you on this stream, bro? Why are you on this stream? High temp, but at the cost of everything else you care about. Oh no. Oh no. Unstoppable by heat, time, or nature. It's once again the heat resistance isn't that high. Unstoppable by heat, time, or nature. Gen X would like it frickin' Prince buy it. I like how straightforward that is. I'm like 1 or 2 years out from like Gen Z or whatever. So it's like I have their same like sense of humor. Cause I was born in like 95 and like Gen Z starts in like 96 or 97, depending on everyone else. My dog is pawing me to death right now, so I gotta go let her out. Polymaker, not your neighbor's PLA. It says nothing to the high temperature or the detail. It's very Texas vibes. Better than 6.7. I had to look that up, by the way. I had to look that up last week. I was like, what the heck is... A kid said it. And I was like, what the heck is 6.7? Only to learn that it's apparently a not joke. It's like, the joke is that it's not funny. And so when you use it, it's like, oh, I'm kind of saying it because I know it's a joke, but it's not a funny joke. But the joke is that I said it. And it's like... This this new generation, I'm not vibing with it. Born in fire, built to last. Strong. That's a strong one. Nothing to the high like detail part of it though. Born in fire, let's see. Built to last. Cannot spell and I'm getting sleepy. It's 9 p.m. And I'm like 80 years old. Greg just called me a kid. Dude, we're all young. Is that so bad? Car guy. High temp and looks good as a car culture people. I agree with that. High temperature looks good. Anime figurine creators, painters. What does it have to do with high temperature? Hot stuff that won't melt under pressure. Hoping I can pull off getting one before in G-Stream. There's already a brand, Atomic Filament. You see, we're gonna get hit with the lawsuit. We can't do that. What was that? That was Diablos who said. That was Diablos who said Atomic Filament. You'll be hearing from not my lawyers, Polymaker's lawyers. That's funny. Made for chaos, ready for anything. You know what? That one's strong too. We're gonna take. I'm gonna choose another. I'm gonna choose one more. Then I actually gotta go because my dog is telling me she really needs to go to the restroom. Made for chaos, ready for anything. Okay. This is called food on the walls. Hot and fancy. I like hot and fancy. I really like hot and fancy. Let's see. Looking hot. We're cutting the line. We're cutting the line too. That's too close. Hot and fancy is the winner so far. Buy me. Put it where you don't think it should. Nope, that's too easily. Good for virality, but not in the good way. And the chemical and weather, unobtained. Nope. Nope. Element is what's catching me up. Unobtained element. Nah, you're making me trip. I can't do it. Let's see. I think we are good. Yeah, all right. Looks like yeah, the 6-7 thing is like saying dude for no reason. Yeah, nuclear filament is bomb. You're gonna get all right. So someone said that's already a brand, so we're gonna get sued. So thanks, Diablos. We're underwater before we even started. Hotter than a Texas summer in military grade accuracy. Okay. We could drop the Polymaker at the front because it's not the entire brand, it's this specific one. Hotter than a Texas summer, kind of specific, kind of regional, but hotter than a Texas summer. And when I get my fingers actually moving right, and military grade accuracy. I like that one. Someone said something. No, it wasn't looking hot. Hot and fancy. I'm putting hot and fancy down too. Now we're ending it. Hot and fancy. All right, those are some good names, guys. All right, my personal favorite one. It's probably hot and fancy. Hot and fancy is probably my favorite one. But you know what? I'm gonna be sitting in my backyard, let my dog go to the restroom. Tell me in Discord what your favorite one was, and I'll try to respond. So I'll be just outside, hanging out, chilling with my dog. Let me know on Discord what your favorite one was. But I think that's the end for this stream. I gotta go. Oppenheimer filament. You should have said it faster. Should have said it faster, my guy. Military grade equals lowest bidder. All right, we're gonna end it now. All right, so let's say our sign off. So Projects in Dad's Garage, you are new here, so we say something at the end of every Monday stream. So it relates to everyone hating Mondays, including myself. So here it is. All right, so I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a good tomorrow. On this show, we try to take away those Monday sorrows. It was a great stream, everyone. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go walk my dog out in the backyard, and I'll see you guys next time. Do not forget to send me on Discord, or just type it in in the general chat or whatever, what your favorite names for all this stuff was. Let me know what it was. But I got to go, guys. I will see you guys next Monday. See ya.